everyone, today's video is going to be all about my spring makeup picks. So what I think's the best sort of makeup for the spring. I'm going to go for like a natural sort of skin with some pinks and some sort of berry sort of tones. So let's go ahead and get started. So for foundation, I like to keep it natural, like I said. My number one pick for this would be YSL Latte Touche Eclat. This is a great foundation. I got this, oh god, I don't know how long ago I got this now, but it's so nice. It's a very weird sort of gel sort of texture, and I find it best to apply with my fingers. I put a little pump onto one finger and I just kind of melt it in between my thumb and my index finger and my middle finger, and then just pat it onto my face and slowly massage it into the skin. And I think it gives such a natural finish and a really nice subtle glow to the skin, which I think is perfect for spring. Just like a nice fresh face it gives. Now I understand that that's quite expensive. I think it retails for about £30, maybe 29, I'm not completely sure. So for a bit of a drugstore alternative, it's not like the YSL at all. It's not a dupe for it, but this is just kind of another option that's cheaper. If you want something that's very similar to the YSL in texture, the Bourjois Healthy Mix serum is quite gel-like, but I don't think it applies quite like the YSL. I haven't found anything very similar to that yet. But for a drugstore version of like something that's fresh-faced is the Rimmel Wake Me Up. Personally, this isn't a favourite of mine. It's got glitter in it. Not a lot, but it's got a tiny bit of glitter in it. I'm not a huge fan of that, and it's also, again, it's quite a light coverage. But it does give that glow, but I think that's because of the tiny bits of glitter in it. A lot of people really like this foundation, and it's a good foundation. I prefer the YSL for this kind of sort of fresh face, but if you don't have the money for the YSL, or you already have this, then this is a good one to go for. Keeping with face, I've got a very lovely bronzer here. It's from Soap & Glory. It's their Solar Powder. This is a really lovely bronzer because it is fully matte, so you can use it not only to contour but also as a bronzer. But because it's got the two sort of shades, that's why I think it's perfect for spring, because it's quite light, and I find bronzer's a bit harsh before the summer and before your skin starts to get a tiny bit darker, depending on your skin tone. Bear in mind I'm very pale, so any bronzer before like August looks a bit funny on me, but this looks really, like I said, really nice and natural. So this just gives a nice bit of warmth to the skin without looking like you're wearing bronzer. And again, like I said, you can use it for a contour, and it's quite a natural contour. For cheeks, I've gone for something very berry sort of colour. This is the Clinique Chubby Stick for cheeks in Roly Poly Rosy. It seems quite like a deep colour, but it doesn't really come off like that. I just put it like just at the tops of my cheeks. I either blend it out with my fingers or with a blush brush, and it just gives a nice little pop of colour to your cheeks. Let's go for lips next. Again, I picked something quite expensive, so I've also picked something not so expensive to kind of even it out. This is also from YSL, and this is the Rouge Volupté Shine in the shade number 6. Does that have a name? Pink in Devotion. This is quite a sheer lipstick, but it gives a really nice wash of colour on your lips. I think this is gorgeous. It just gives that hint of colour, and it really like perks it up, and because it's quite blue toned, it really makes your teeth look a lot whiter. So really nice. Something quite similar, not in necessarily in consistency, but in colour and the fact that it's a bit sheer and you can kind of build it up, is from Bourjois, and it's their Colour Boost sort of chubby stick for lips things, and this is the colour Fuchsia Libre. So it is, again, it's quite similar. It just gives a nice wash of colour. This is a little bit more opaque than the YSL lipstick. It's not quite as sheer. So sometimes what I do is I'll like sort of put it on quite lightly, and then just pat it in with my fingers. But again, another blue toned pink, so really nice and cool, and you know, lovely for the spring. Moving on to eyes, I've got a couple of cream products here. I've got a Clinique Chubby Stick for eyes in Ample Amber, which is a really lovely colour. It's just a really nice bronze colour, and I really like putting this on, just putting this all over my lid, blending out with my fingers, and then putting loads and loads of mascara on. I've also got a Maybelline colour tattoo in pink gold. Another thing you could do with just putting it all over the lid and then putting a load of mascara on, or I have found this as a really nice base for the eyeshadow palette that I've picked, which is the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. It's very rosy toned in colour. I think for spring this is really, really nice. You can get some really good looks out of this, some really great combinations. So that is that. Last but not least is a nail polish. This is from Essie and it is Cocktail Bling. I wore this almost every day last spring. It is a grey toned sort of purple, or a purple toned grey. It's so lovely. I can't really explain it. It's a really, 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 really gorgeous colour. It's kind of pastel-y, but not your classic pastel lilac sort of colour. It's something a bit different, but still really says spring to me. So yes. So those are my spring makeup picks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.